kind of nonsense is this?
It's a lot of nonsense.
A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another brand new episode of Untitled Nonsense. My name is Josh Fauner, and I'm alone once again this evening. That's fine. We got plenty to talk about tonight. Let's kick it off here. First off, we'll start off with the elephant in the room. Hashtag OpTrump 2016. It appears as though we've all been had. Yes, I'm not sure exactly how we've been had, but we've been had, ladies and gentlemen. The timer on OpTrump 2016 counted down to 0, as counters do, and rolled over and turned into a Make Donald Trump Again website. That's right, it turned into a website for a campaign for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Now, this begs the question: did Last Week Tonight with John Oliver impersonate Anonymous? Or did Anonymous glom on to John Oliver's campaign at the last second and decide to have it reroute there? This is the question. Because it's clear we've been had some lulls with, like it's very obvious, but I don't know. I mean, if John Oliver, because it's possible. It's possible the production design was way too glossy and way too high, and former co-host Andrew James was 100% right. You know, it wasn't the same synthesizer, possibly. You know, maybe it was HBO flaunting their money and impersonating Anonymous. And if it was John Oliver impersonating Anonymous, like I really like John Oliver normally, but I'm gonna have to, you know, if he impersonated Anonymous, I've been supporting Anonymous since Project Chanology. I don't think I'll be able to support John Oliver any longer if he impersonated Anonymous. So I'm going to look into it a little further, see what I can find out, see if we've been had by Anonymous or if we've been had by HBO. But one thing is right, or you know, one thing is for sure, Andrew, you were right. The OpTrump 2016 website was not official Anon. I'm wondering, you know, HBO might have had the money to make it seem real, like even with people spreading it on Twitter and that kind of thing, like good fake accounts and all that kind of thing. It's very possible. If you would like to join in this evening, give me your opinion on what you think it was. Do you think it was John Oliver? Do you think it was Anonymous actually doing it and trolling at the end? Well, what do you think it was? You're welcome to give us a call. The number is 603-267-0521. That's 603-267-0521. All right, so moving right along to our next story here. So there was a little bit of a leftover, stale, gross, scuzzy popcorn in the bottom of the Oscar bucket left over. And the internet got a hold of it, as the internet is prone to do. And they grabbed a hold of it by the throat, and they're kind of like shaking it. And it's just ridiculous. Jenny Beavan was the production designer for Mad Max. Jenny Beavan is a well-known and well-loved costume designer. She was recently made fun of during the BAFTA Awards by Stephen Fry for looking like a bag lady. And she went up to get her award at the Oscars wearing like a leather jacket and pants. It was outside of the normal look. But what really has the internet up in a shitstorm, especially the Tumblrites, the fucking SJWs, the fucking Tumblrinas, is that there are these vines of Jenny Beavan walking up to the podium, or walking up the aisle up to the stage to accept her award, and she walks past Leo and Alejandro Inarritu and a couple other people. I think a director of one of the other movies, I think Bridge of Spies or something, and they're visibly not clapping in the vine. So fucking what? Like, it. First off, it has nothing to do with misogyny. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. It has everything to do with the fact that their movie was up for the award and didn't win. You've never been to an award show and not won the award? Sure, you might let out a half-hearted clap or two for a golf clap, but you're disappointed. You're not really going to cheer for the person. Like, fucking, what do you want? Even if they weren't clapping, so the fuck what? They're not obligated to clap for anybody. Who the fuck are you to tell them who they have to clap for? Who the fuck are you? Anyway, yeah. So, what's worse, like, the more this is made a big deal out of, the more it's made a big deal out of that Jenny Beavan didn't dress up for the Oscars and all that kind of stuff. So it's just making her stick out like a sore thumb more. And it's just a non-troversy. It's people making a mountain out of a molehill. It's people being fucking stupid. Shut up, people. Anybody can clap for whoever the fuck they want to. You don't get to be the boss of that. So, let's see what else we got here. Ooh, one of my favorite stories of the day, and I really shouldn't say this because karma's a fucking bitch, and it's gonna make me, it's gonna be really bad, you know, because after I say this, something horrible is gonna happen to me. But it couldn't happen to a nicer person. Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly has lost custody of his children. Bill O'Reilly has lost custody of his children due to domestic violence charges. Pending domestic violence charges, I should say. Let me pull up the news story here. I don't think Fox News is reporting on this, by the way. Okay, here we go. Bill O'Reilly loses custody of his children after choking wife. Now, I'd just like to point out, this comes out of Nassau County, which is in New York. Nassau County is Long Island, the same wonderful county that brought us the domestic violence issues of Anthony Cumia. So Nassau County is just wonderful white trash. It's just full of wonderful people that are full of family values. So, here we go. Bill has been denied custody of his children by a New York court. Court ruled that O'Reilly was not fit to have custody of his kids after a domestic violence incident. The official ruling stated that viewing the totality of the circumstances, there is a sound and substantial basis for the Supreme Court's determination that it is in the best interests of the children for the mother to be awarded primary residential custody. Particularly relevant in this case are the clearly stated preferences of the children, especially considering their age and maturity, and the quality of the home environment provided by the mother. So last May, I guess, Bill O'Reilly's daughter, who's now 17, told a court that she saw Bill choking his wife, her mother, and dragging her down the stairs by the throat. Then he attempted to call her an adulterer, like it make her all her fault, like you do. And told the daughter that if she spent time with the mother, it'd ruin her life. So Bill O'Reilly's a great guy. Great guy. Regular Reagan Republican over here. What can I say? So we're kind of rapid firing here. As you can see, we're only about 15 to 20 or 16 minutes in tonight. I'm not going to force shows. I'm not going to force them to be an hour. We're going to be live for as long as we're live for, and if it feels forced, I'm going to shut it off at that point. I'm not going to sit here hemming and hawing just for the benefit of saying that I did an hour. If I do 15 minutes, I do 15 minutes. You get an episode that day. If I do an hour, I do an hour. I have that much time for it. If I do more than an hour, you get more than an hour. Hey, look at that. You know what I mean? So, see what else we got here. Yes, Google's self-driving car. Google's self-driving car has gotten into its first accident. One of the big things about the self-driving car initiative that Google started was that it doesn't get into accidents. That it's safe. It's the safest car on the road. That it's never gotten into any accidents. Well, actually, you know what? I think we can actually do that now. Hang on. Now that I actually figured out this sound stuff, I think we can actually do this. Hang on here. Of course. Works for me because I had to do it to myself. Anyway, hey, at least I know that the sound is working. Okay, so the headline is Google says it bears some responsibility after self-driving car hits bus. So basically what happened is it was really, really slow accident. Google car is going like 2 miles an hour.
Google said the autonomous vehicle was traveling less than 2 miles an hour, while the bus was moving at about 15 miles an hour. Um, the vehicle and the test driver believe the bus would slow or allow the Google vehicle to continue. But 3 seconds later, as the Google car in autonomous mode recentered the center of the lane, it struck the side of the bus, causing damage to the left front center, or left front fender, front wheel, and driver side sensor. No one was injured in the car or on the bus because it was at 15 and 2 miles an hour, respectively. But still, the fact that it was much touted as, oh, it doesn't crash. Well, here we go. The first flaw. So this is something they need to go back to the drawing board and work out. Here, I know it's an unforeseen circumstance, but now they have an unforeseen circumstance they can work out. And I mean, if I don't think that really. I mean, I think if anybody is going to perfect it first, it's going to be Tesla. I don't think that Google is going to have it, because I mean, Tesla's already got it in the Model X's, I think, for consumers. So they're about to perfect it. So we'll see what happens. But I'm a huge Elon Musk fanboy. I think he's an absolute genius, and I slobber all over him on the regular. So you'll probably hear that at some point. See, so an interesting article from last week, actually, by Leonard Maltin, who, if you don't know who Leonard Maltin is at this point, like, he's a famous movie reviewer. Like, he screams classic movies. When you hear the name Leonard Maltin, you think black and white grainy movie. Apparently, it's been discovered that there was a King Kong radio show, a radio serial back in 1933, a 15-part radio serialization. It's been lost. There's never been a recording found, but it's just absolutely fascinating to me that despite the fact that it's 83 years later, almost 84, or no 83, almost 83 years later, that we still find stuff out new about shit that happened back then. That there's stuff that was completely forgotten about, that 83 years later we're like, hey, this happened, and people are like, oh yeah, that did happen, and then we have to find copies of it. So, like, we've seen this happen already, with internet culture, more recently, for you 90s kids, with Crybaby Lane. Just the other year, there was a thread on Reddit talking about a particular TV movie that was only aired once on Nickelodeon. It was a Halloween TV movie, and it was only aired once because it was deemed too scary for Nickelodeon. I guess parents called up a lot and complained afterwards. So it was never aired again, never released on video, and people were like, "What the hell was that?" Like, they kind of built it up into more of a legendary mythological thing than it actually was. By the time we actually found it, because it turns out, of course, like somebody always does, somebody had a videotape of it somewhere, because somebody was always VHSing it at some point if it was past 8 p.m. back in the day. If it was past 8 p.m., it's on a VHS tape somewhere. We just got to find it. So that was found.
And yeah, that Crybaby Lane was found and put online, and that convinced Nickelodeon to air it again. So the common denominator here with the ping pong King Kong went to Hong Kong to play ping pong with his ding dong. The thing about old time radio shows is that they are owned by the advertisers. They are not owned by the channel that made them. Not like, not like today. So let's say the Palmolive Company made the radio show. The Palmolive Company, somewhere in their vault, they have that radio show, and they're not very want to release them for some reason. So somewhere, a company, an advertising company, somewhere has to have a copy of the King Kong's serialization from 1933 somewhere. There has to be a recording of it. I don't think they would do a serialization of something as big as King Kong without recording it for posterity. So I'm really hoping that we get a hold of it at some point. If not the original recordings, at least the scripts, so the scripts can be released, so that we can have somebody do some kind of recreation of it. I think doing a full scale recreation of it would be really cool with full effects and everything like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I mean, I would even consider doing it right here on Untitled Nonsense, if we could get a hold of it. I mean, that's just me. But anyway, so that I think that was all I wanted to cover today. I think we'll wrap it up with about a half an hour to go here. Yeah, so we'll do a 30-minute show today. I do want to thank you for listening, and we'll be back here tomorrow with an all-new Untitled Nonsense. And if you want to check us out online, facebook.com/Untitled Nonsense, twitter.com/UN_podcast. Give us a call, leave us a message. We will play, I'll play it on air. We'll comment on it and, make fun of you, whatever, or talk about your points. If you want to make a point, you want to give us a story, you want to tell me I'm an asshole, you can call the number, leave a message, 603-267-0521. That's 603-267-0521. And we'll be right back here tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Untitled Nonsense. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Steve Taylor, and you're listening to Untitled Nonsense. Hi, I'm Steve Taylor, and you're listening to Untitled Nonsense.